Hello students. So today we are going to study about the topic contract costing, which is also known as terminal costing. It is one of the method of costing to ascertain the cost. But before going into very much detail what is contract costing, let us first distinguish between job costing and contract costing, because job costing we have earlier started. So the major difference between the job costing and contract costing is the area of work. Job costing is applicable where the job has to be carried out in the factory premises, whereas the contract work is done at the site. So if the contract work is done at the site, means there contract costing is much applicable. Another basis of difference you can take of the time period. The number of jobs undertaken at a time are usually large as compared to the number of contracts, because contracts, they are generally much bigger in size. They consume much more extended time period. Next basis you can take about the place of work. Place of work means the job costing is within the premises of the company or job or factory, whereas contract costing is much more applicable where production or construction has to be taken place at a construction site as per the specific customer needs. Another basis of difference you can take about the transfer of profit. In job costing, when a job is done and finished goods are sold to the customers, the entire profit has to be transferred to the profit and loss account. But on the other hand, in contract costing, cost and revenues are recorded in the proportion to the degree of completion, and the resulting profit is transferred to the profit and loss account. Means, for example, if we say that contract is for 5 years related to some of the construction of the building, so you don't have to wait for the 5 years to complete and then only you will show either it is profit or loss in your accounts. What we can do is we have to show the cost or the revenues according to the degree of completion of the project. Means whether 40% of the task has been completed or 50% of the contract has been completed. So accordingly you will be showing in the time periods of 1 year, so that we do not have to wait for a much longer period of time, that is 5 years, and we cannot sit for much longer period of 5 years for get identifying how much has been our cost or the benefits. So this was a major difference between the two types of costing, job and contract costing. Now let us go into detail about the contract costing. Contract costing is also known as terminal costing. It is one of the variant of job costing method. Contract is a big job. You cannot say it is a small task which is going to be completed in a year. So it means a big job in which work is done at a site, not within the factory premises. So what is the main objective? That the cost of each contract has to be calculated. And in this method, an account is opened for each contract in the books of contractor to ascertain the profit or loss thereon. So we are going to show the account which is known as contract account in the books of the contractor, which will exhibit the calculation of profit or loss thereon. And this method is mainly applicable in building construction, road construction, bridge construction, shipbuilding, etc., and the similar ones. And one more thing which we have to remember is that a contract costing involves two parties. One is known as the contractor, the another is known as the contractee. So these are the two persons who have to be actively involved to carry out the contract process. And another specifications are Contract executed for a price termed as contract price. Now, contractor and contractee has to meet a contract by setting up the contract price. Contractee is a one, for example, Mr. X is a contractee. He wants to make a building in Gurgaon. So Gurgaon is known as a site or a location where the building has to be made, where the contract has to be carried on. Contractor is a person who is responsible or who is undertaking the responsibility for making the building for the contractee. So a certain price has to be set in between so that a contractor can fulfill the job of the contractee. So for that, a contract price has been set. Each contract is a cost unit. Expenses get separately recorded and profit too is separately ascertained. Expenses, they are directly chargeable to the contract account, which you are going to show on the debit side of the contract account. Most of the materials are specially purchased for each contract. Specialist subcontractors may be employed. Separate specialist means specialist subcontractors. Specialist subcontractors may be employed means, for example, electrical fittings, welding work, glass work, means another subcontractor can be employed by the contractor to assist his contract. Plant and equipment may be purchased for the contract or may be hired for the duration of the contract. Means the expenses like material, labor, overheads has to be done in addition to purchasing the plant or the equipment, or you can even hire for a specific duration till the contract gets completed. Payments by the customer or contractee are made at various stages of completion of the contract. Means if it is seen that 10% or 20% of the work has been done by the contractor, then contractee has to pay to the contractor the certain payments which has been decided as per the contract. But according to the architect certificate, and this concept is also known as work certified, will be coming on more of the terminologies to understand what is work certified, architect certificate, and so on. Penalties may be incurred by the contractor for failing to complete the work within the agreed period. For example, if the contractor and contractee, these two parties have decided to fulfill the contract, to successfully complete the contract within 5 years, but the contractor fails to do so, so the penalties has to be incurred by the contractor because he is unable to complete the work within the agreed or the contract period time. Now, what is the basic procedure of the contract costing? First, a contract account. Each contract is allotted a distinct number and a separate account is opened for each of the contract. For example, one of the contractor has taken the contract from the contractor for 3 locations. Means for those 3 locations, the account has to be prepared separately. You cannot adjoin all the contract accounts. Second, direct cost. Most of the cost of a contract, they are allocated directly to the contract. For example, direct material, direct labor and supervision, direct expenses, means all the variable cost, depreciation of plant and machinery, subcontract cost, establishment charges. Another is indirect cost. Indirect costs are also the cost or the expenses which are shown on the debit side of the contract account. Such costs, they are often observed on some arbitrary basis as a percentage on prime cost. Overheads are normally restricted to head office and storage cost. Transfer of materials or plant. When materials, plant, or the other items are transferred from the contract account is credited by that amount. The another term is contract price. Now, this contract price has to be credited in the contract account. However, when a contract is not complete at the end of the financial year, the contract account is credited with the work in progress as on that date. Work in progress means how much the work has been completed and not completed. The work completed means work certified, the work not completed means work not certified. Now, however, when a contract is not completed within a year, only a part of the profit arrived is taken into the account, and the remaining profit has to be kept as the WIP reserve to meet the contingent loss on the incomplete contract. All these points we are going to study in detail and will be much more clear when we start with the practical problems. Now there are certain points which has to be remembered while preparing the contract account. These are related to certain expenses of the contract account. Cost of materials. Now for the cost of materials, all these which are listed, materials specially purchased for the contract, they has to be shown on the debit side. Materials issued from store against material requisition notes, debit side of the contract account. Credit to contract account, materials returned to store and materials at site. So you'll be taking the difference about all these terms which are related to the material expense in the practical problems. Next is the cost of labor. All wages of workers engaged on a particular contract, they are charged directly to the contract irrespective of the type of work they perform. Plant depreciation. So plant depreciation is also one of the costs which will be shown on the debit side of the contract account. Subcontract cost means the subcontractors, they are being assigned to assist the contractor like electrical fittings, welding work or the glass work. So they are also shown on the debit side of the contract account. Next is work in progress. Work in progress means half of the work completed, half of the work yet to be done. So in terms of the contract costing, we are going to understand as work in progress is work certified plus work uncertified. Means when the contract is not completed till the end of the accounting year, the architect is required to value the work in progress, and such work in progress is classified in these two terms. Work certified is that part of the work in progress which has been approved by the contractee's architect or engineer for payment. For example, now take an example to understand what is work certified. For example, the contract price was agreed with rupees 10 lakh, and this was involved between the parties, contractee and contractor. Contractor said that he has completed 40% of the contract, but the contractee will not pay the agreed price just on the reliability of the contractor. What he will do, he will appoint an architect. Contractee will appoint an architect to check, to verify whether 40% of the work has been done by the contractor as said or not. If that 40% of the work is approved by the contractee's architect, then it is known as 40% is work certified. Another case, if the contractee's architect says that only 30% of the contract is completed, so remaining 10% is called as work uncertified. So 30% is work certified and 10% is work uncertified. So work uncertified means the work in progress which is not approved by the architect, Work certified means work in progress which is approved by the architect, and architect is of whom? Of the contractee. So work in progress in totality we are going to show on the credit side of the contract account, and in the balance sheet it is shown on the asset side. Now moving on to the certain concepts which I have already discussed with you with an example. Who is a contractor, who is a contractee. Contract price means the value for which the contract is undertaken. Work in progress is a sum of work certified and work uncertified. Work certified is a part of the total contract price which has been completed as well as approved. Work uncertified, the part of the total contract price which has been not approved by the contractee's architect. Cash paid means part of the work certified that is paid by the contractee. Retention money, part of the work certified that is held by the contractee. All these will be taken up with the help of the illustrations to get much more clear understanding. Now, on this slide, I have listed out certain rules which are necessary while preparing the contract accounts. These are known as rules of profit on incomplete contracts. Now, we know that the contract is going to complete in 5 years. We cannot sit for 5 years to prepare our financial statements. So, till certain period of time or at the frequent intervals, as the contractor says that this much has been completed, means there are different stages of completion for that contract. So that is why it is known as incomplete contracts. So these rules are listed as the rules of the profit on incomplete contracts. This will be much more clearer when we take the examples along with it. This will help in calculation of how much the amount has to be transferred to the profit and loss account and how much amount has to be transferred to the WIP reserve. WIP means work in progress reserve. Now, this is just a snapshot of all the 4 rules. Means percent of work certified less than 25% has been approved and completed, then how much will be the profit which has to be transferred to the profit and loss account? No profit will be transferred. Second rule, if there is 25%, means in between 25 to 50%. 25% is 1/4 of the contract price. 50% means half of the contract price. If it is between that work certified, then how the profit has to be calculated? Notional profit multiplied by 1/3 multiplied by cash received by work certified. If more than 50% of the work has been completed but less than 100%, for example it is 75%, so how to calculate the profit? Notional profit into 2/3 into cash received by work certified. If 100% of the work is completed, then 100% of the profit has to be shown corresponding to profit and loss account figure. So certainly the practical questions are based on first 3 rules. Now this is a format to prepare the contract account. On the debit side, we are going to list out materials purchased, material or any of the plant issued from store or received from the other contract, wages or any of the outstanding wages you will add back. If it is prepaid, then it is minus. Then direct expenses, overheads, preliminary expenses, establishment expenses, cost of subcontract, plant, only a cost is shown here, architect fees, and on the credit side, material returned to store, material issued to other contracts, material at site. Agar bracket में it is written the closing date, you have to write it on the credit side, means that has become your income, right? So plant cost minus depreciation. On the debit side, it has to be only shown with the cost. On the credit side, it is cost minus depreciation. Or any kind of losses occurred due to theft, accident, material destroyed, has to be shown on the credit side of the contract account. So what we are going to do, it is prepared in the similar manner as we are preparing the P&L account under financial statements. So we have to take out the balancing figure. If it comes on the debit side, it is known as to notional profit balancing figure. If it comes on the credit side, it is known as by notional loss balancing figure. Generally, it will be notional profit in your questions. Now, that debit side notional profit will be carried forward to the credit side of the contract account, and this notional profit has to be distributed in two terms: profit and loss account and WIP reserve. For example, notional profit comes to 50,000, so 50,000 has to be distributed in P&L account and WIP reserve. Now, in what basis it has to be distributed, this is decided on the terms of the rules which we have studied. Now, these are just the snapshots of preparing the contract account for year 1, for subsequent year means for the next year, and how it has to be shown for the further years. Now, there can be certain problems based on preparing the balance sheet also along with the contract account. So, this is a snapshot of how P&L account has to be shown and how the expenses which are not related to the account and incomes which are not related to the account of the contract, these are listed here. Now, this will be the balance sheet presentation of work in progress. How work in progress has to be shown in the balance sheet. Work in progress on the asset side, it will be shown work in progress showing work certified and work uncertified, add them, then minus cash received. Advance received means minus cash received, which will be given to you in the question, then minus WIP reserve, which you will be calculating from the contract account. So this is just only the snapshots given to you to familiarize only the concepts. The practical will bring much more clear understanding for you. Now, what all balance sheet should include? Items to be shown on the asset side, items to be shown on the liability side. So, liability side should include all the due expenses which are related to the contract, and the profit has to be transferred to the profit and loss account minus any of the losses due to material lost, plant lost, destroyed or stolen. On the asset side, you are going to show the credit side of the contract account, like material in hand, plant at site, material and plant in store, means they are still available with you, they have not been consumed in the process of contract. Work in progress after deducting the cash received from the contracting. So this was all about discussing the major terminologies, format of the contract account, format of the balance sheet. In the next lecture, we are going to take the illustrations based on the rules of the profit on incomplete contracts.